Lighting is a vast topic to cover in just one YouTube video, but in the next 5 minutes I hope to shed some light on how you can better light your stop motion sets and characters. So what do I believe is an ideal amount of lights for most simple lighting situations? 3. Why 3? Well, 3 lights gives you options. Sure, you can light with just 1 or 2, and if that is all that you have, and if you are just starting out, then please do experiment with what you have before splashing the cash. But if you want to take things seriously, 3 lights is really going to illuminate your work. So what lights should you get? Let's show you mine. So these are average sized LED panel lights. Why are LEDs good? Well, number 1, they don't get hot, so they aren't going to melt your clay or you. Number 2, they are fairly inexpensive, so buying 3 of these isn't going to break the bank for most people. And number 3, they are adjustable in so many ways. So let me explain this by showing you how mine work. So first off, you have these little flaps. They're called barn doors, and all traditional studio lights have them. They're there to help you control the direction and spread of the light source. Secondly, on the back you have a brightness dial, and there are also options to switch between and blend different colour temperatures. More about that later. If we turn it on, I'll show you what I mean in action. So you can see this dial at the bottom affects the intensity, the brightness of the light. You'll notice the number changing at the top too, which is great for matching light settings in different shots, especially if you don't have a light meter. So let's explore those colour temperatures. Like with a lot of things in life, light is on a spectrum. You have white light, known as daylight, at one end, and you have orange light, known as tungsten, at the other. These panel lights have both. There are 300 LEDs of each different colour temperature. And these particular lights have the ability to blend those 2 colours too. So why would you want to do this? Well, say you wanted to emulate moonlight in a scene. On the scale of light, this sits somewhere in the middle of white and orange. So if you push a little bit of orange light in with the white light, it's going to look more like moonlight. Another cool thing about these lights is they have a diffusion slot. So in front of these LEDs, to soften them up, is this frosted sheet of clear plastic. You can put this in and take it out really easily, and the lights even come with coloured ones in the box too, which mimic traditional studio gels. So you can use these to change the colour of your light further. If you've got this far through the video and are finding this interesting, I'll soon be making a super comprehensive lighting masterclass over on Skillshare, so keep your eyes and ears open for when I announce that later this month. So as well as purchasing the lights, you're going to need to get some lighting stands. They're sort of like tripods, and I also recommend having these ball heads to allow even more options for directing your lights. I'll put links to all these things in the description box. Now let's set up a scene. Let's light this roll of masking tape that I've put on set here. A common question I get asked about lighting for stop motion is how to eliminate harsh shadows. How do you essentially get what would be termed as a flat lighting profile? The answer here is to not directly light your subject. You want to bounce and reflect your light. So if the walls in your home or wherever you're animating are of a light colour, you could point your lights at the wall and that will bounce and reflect the light off. Or my personal preference, let your lights sit back and relax and point them right up at the ceiling. When I do this, you'll notice that the spread of light is much more even across everything. Also, as if by magic, all those horrible, ugly shadows have gone and left you with some much softer ones. But you may look at this scene now and think it's all a bit too dark, and that is where the third light comes in, to throw extra light onto your subject or your puppet. And you can do this in a couple of ways. You could mount a light in the hot shoe on top of your DSLR, from above or from the side. If you're shooting in the downward position aerial view, I would suggest not putting too much brightness from above because you're going to start getting those shadows back. So the other option is to place your third light at the side, so you're lighting the front face of your object or puppet. And by doing this, you will see that we aren't dramatically affecting those pesky shadows, but we are illuminating our action and essentially brightening up the shot nicely. Now there are obviously lots of other ways that you can adjust things, including settings in your camera and, well, many other things too. But I'll save all of these for the Skillshare class, otherwise we'll be here for hours. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like these videos on stop motion basics too.